Hello, and welcome to the Cutting Room Floor podcast with me, your host, Charlie, and I'm joined by my three good friends and co-hosts, Matt, Josh, and Kieran. How you doing, boys?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good to. Excited to get the first one underway under our belts?
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, I think it's been a long time coming, long overdue. Looking forward to getting started.
24 hours overdue.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all right. To be fair, we've been pretty much doing the podcast.
This is our first attempt.
So,
Yeah.
I thought just for the first episode, we can just say like maybe why we started up the pod, if you guys are all right with that.
I mean,
Sure.
I guess for me, I think that we all love movies. We all love TV shows. We talk about it a lot when we're not recording. So it makes perfect sense to make a podcast.
We have got technically two of you in the industry as well.
Yeah,
And,
true.
I think it's safe to say me and Matt watch a lot of stuff.
Let's leave that. I was going to say, let's leave that up to the people who listen. See who the people in the industry are.
I don't know.
I'm as close to being in the industry as being picked for the new Olympics, but you know.
Depends what Olympics, I suppose. What
I
game?
mean,
Sky's the limit.
it's not exactly what I do.
It's going well. Matt's on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are
Here's Matt.
you saying you're a producer of a podcast already, Josh?
I am. Yeah.
Producer of one, star of another.
I was about to say, get the plug in early.
Yeah. Hit up the Team Talk podcast if you're sports fans.
Yeah.
Fans. Yep.
I expect this level of plug on the next team.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's enough of the plug.
Yeah.
Give you 30 seconds, that's it.
So obviously the Oscar nominations got released recently, and there was a number of records that were broken. Is there any thing in particular you guys want to talk about, or do you want me to just go through the notes?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm happy for you to just go through the notes.
Yeah. So there were 9 big records broken this year, but I've only written a few of them down, like the main ones to talk about. And the first is, this is the year where the most non-white nominations have happened. So for Best Actor, for example, 3 of the leading men are men of colour. And then I just thought, it's worth bringing up that Stephen Yan of Walking Dead fame is the first Asian American nominated for Best Man. And it's mental that in, I think it's 93 years, that's never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's taken so long, realistically. And it's like Riz Ahmed's been nominated, and apparently, I don't know, because obviously not everyone releases their faith. He's the first Muslim actor for Best Man. But have you seen any of the best actors' roles or any of the best films?
I can't say I have watched
No.
any of the ones nominated this year.
No,
I had a look at all of the nominations when they came out because it wasn't too long ago, was it?
no,
no.
it's only within the last week or so.
Yeah, what they are is complete.
So I can explain one or two of them. Chadwick Boseman's got a posthumous. I'm not 100% sure if that's the word.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and that's for a Netflix original film called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And apparently it's along the lines of a play that's been filmed. It's like Hamilton-esque, but a bit more cinematic.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good to check out. And plus that and Gary Oldman for Mank are both Netflix originals. So I think before the actual Oscars happen, I will watch them.
I think it's a very strange year, isn't it? Because of obviously COVID.
Yeah.
We haven't had that as many films released this year. So a lot of the films that are on the nominations lists are ones that are on Amazon and Netflix and stuff like that.
And they've had a super limited release in LA for 2 weeks because that's all they need to qualify. It's something mental. It needs to be in 5 cinemas consistently for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think
it's
the
a lot
last
smaller projects, isn't it?
Yeah, I think The Father, especially Anthony Hopkins one, because that's about from the perspective of an Alzheimer's patient, and it's his daughter's played by multiple roles. Matt brought up yesterday, Olivia Colman's the main one.
But, yeah, she's nominated for Best Supporting.
Yeah, I do think that would be quite an interesting film because I like how there's two, at least for best actors, two of them are disability based because Anthony Hopkins is Alzheimer's and Riz Ahmed is he's a punk metal drummist who's dealing with going deaf and how he's getting accepted into the deaf community.
Yeah.
I think could be a really good film. And then, as we said, Stephen Yen is the star of, I think it's called Myanmar.
Yeah.
It's just a strange year, innit? I mean, I've been thinking about it, and like literally, I think the last film that I remember being released this year was probably like Wonder Woman, 1984.
Do you guys remember what the last film you saw was in cinema?
Yes.
Go on then, spit it out.
Hang on. It was the one with.
It's always good.
Right,
Is it an episode of Friends?
Is it? I think it was called like Pixie, or is it Pixie? Let me have a look.
I've heard of a film called Pixie. I know there's one that's been released recently called like Moxie, but it's definitely not the one you're talking about.
Let me have a look. Pixie. Yeah, Pixie.
Oh, fair. I can't say I've heard of that.
It was with Olivia.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it now on IMDb. It's got a 5.8 out of 10.
Yeah, solid then. Like decent, maybe if you're in the evening, just fancy something. Mass, have you?
I'm trying to think, and I don't think I've been to the cinema since Avengers Endgame.
Heck, that
I
long.
think that might be the last thing I've watched in a cinema.
I know my one was 1917, and I went with my housemate from uni, Nathan, and we thoroughly enjoyed that. And I think that was either late December or early January. So it's been, potentially a year and a half since I've last.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember exactly when we went to go and see. Oh, actually, hang on, she's right here, so I can ask her. When was it that we went and saw Pixie in the cinema?
I can't say I've ever heard of Pixie. I'm gonna have to do some research after the pod and look him up.
In the summer.
When did it come?
Yeah, it came out 2020.
Yeah.
September 2020.
September then. Yeah, we must have seen it in September.
Yeah.
We must have seen it in September then.
Unless you've already got some screeners I don't know about.
But it's it's all set in Ireland, and it's got Alec Baldwin in it, and he's like a priest.
Oh right, cool.
He's like a killing priest. So it was one of those movies where it was like it was never gonna win anything. It was like dark humor. It was like a dumb action movie, but it was funny.
Yeah. If you want a good IRA related film, have you ever seen The Foreigner on Netflix with Jackie Chan? That's a great film.
Yeah,
very good film.
I just enjoy watching movies, so it doesn't really matter to me what I watch unless it's like on another level of awful.
Yeah, that's fair. Jumping back into the Oscar discussions, it's the first time ever, and I couldn't believe it when I read it, that 2 females have been nominated for Best Director. I thought that would have happened ages ago, because realistically, it's just based on the quality of the film. Rather who's directed?
Who's it that's been nominated? Is it the one that directed?
What movies?
It's No Man's Land, which is Frances McDormand, and Promising Young Woman, which is Carey Mulligan. Those are the lead actors, but I couldn't tell you the names of the directors, unfortunately.
Okay.
They both look like interesting films. I know No Man's Land is about a woman goes to live with the community that's out in the Salt Lake. You know, that one that's just not anything to do with society. It's really weird because they're all called nomads, but can't say I've seen it.
Nomadland is directed by Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
And Promising Young Woman is by Emerald Fennell.
Yeah, right. I can't say I've heard of either of them either, but I know both the stars and I like a lot of their work.
Yeah.
Carrying on from the female records being broken, that Viola Davis has officially become the most nominated Black woman, which is cool because she's worked consistently for years, and it's good that she gets the recognition she deserves.
Yeah.
I think one of my favourite roles she might have been in is Fences, if you've ever seen that. It was an adaptation of a play that her and Denzel did.
Yeah.
Denzel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really strong role that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, good movie.
Netflix has officially become the most nominated streaming service, and it's got 35 award nominations this year.
perfectly honest, that doesn't surprise me in any.
No, really.
They're pumping out original content like it's nobody's business.
Because if you think of streaming, you think of Netflix. Like you can think of Hulu, Disney Plus, everything afterwards. But the first one is Netflix.
But I mean,
HBO Max.
I think one of the big things with Netflix was they pledge this year they've pledged to release like, was it like a new original movie or something, like every week or something?
Yeah, they wanted
Something
to
like that.
at least pump out original content as best they could. Because with the likes of Disney Plus opening up, and I know Paramount Plus is becoming a thing, a lot of the older content's getting pulled once the licensing runs out. So they need like original stuff to keep people interested.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that's a good thing to talk about as well. Actually, the obviously Disney Plus have just got Star, haven't they?
Have any of you guys checked anything out since it's been on there?
I've been watching all the diehards. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
they're always a good watch.
My favorite TV show was on Star, so it's now on Disney Plus, which is Atlanta, starring Donald Glover. Absolutely phenomenal TV show. So I mean, I've watched it over and over and over so many times I've lost count anyway. So now it's even more accessible on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I think when it's been on Disney Plus, I've already watched it like twice through.
Nice.
Yeah, I started watching the X-Files from the beginning because that's something I've never watched before.
Yeah.
Like I've seen episodes but never like watched it all from start to finish. So yeah, that's something I'm really enjoying.
I know you're doing it as well, Mass. Well, we're both rewatching The Simpsons as well.
Yeah,
Thoroughly getting enjoyment out of that.
just quality.
Started season 6 last night.
I think I'm on season 7 now. I can't remember.
Not
I just finished the Mr. Sparkle episode, so I don't know what season that is.
Going back to Netflix, the three main things that have caused this is Mank, the Gary Oldman film based on the making of Citizen Kane. You've got Ma Rainey's Black Bottom that we spoke about earlier, and Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah,
which I think was phenomenal, and I'm glad that Sacha Baron Cohen's got the recognition he deserved for it.
Yeah.
Yes. That is one I'm meaning to check out as soon as possible because obviously enjoy Cohen a lot.
I believe it's Darren Aronofsky that wrote it, and I think it might not be the first time he's directed, but I think he's also directed, and you can really tell because it's a lot of speaking. It's more of a courtroom drama than it is like it flashes back and forth. You know, it's a lot more character study.
So it's like fast paced.
Within parts, there's scenes where they like flash back to the riots and what happened, but a lot of it is just sat in a room, and it might just get a heated discussion. It's like more of the action. And then the only other thing to do with the Oscars I've got is I think The Five Bloods, the Spike Lee like Vietnam vets film, should have got more recognition because the only nomination it got was I think best score.
Yeah.
And I think it's criminal that Delroy Lindo, the like main star, didn't even get like consideration. Really, it seems he sort of.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
so
it's got
on the list.
It's got another good Chadwick Boseman performance in it. To be fair,
yeah.
If you like some of his stuff and want to check out some of the older, well, I say older stuff, but some of his stuff.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman's phenomenal, wasn't he? I mean, obviously. I think probably everyone's favourite Chadwick Boseman role is probably Black Panther. Let's be honest. But I mean, like, even what was it? 12 Bridges, was it?
21 Bridges, I think.
21 Bridges.
Yeah, I think so, because it's all the bridges that surround Manhattan, isn't it?
Yeah. I
believe it's 21. Yeah.
I even really enjoyed that movie. I thought that was just a good action movie again, really.
Yeah. The thing is, with actors like him, even if he's in a subpar movie, he's usually a strong performance.
Yeah.
Like he never just like phones it in. It's the same with like maybe a Tom Hanks. You know, you can always guarantee that at least he'll be good in it.
Yeah. No bad Tom Hanks films.
Yeah.
Going off, you know, like the actors being good in bad movies or whatever. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I haven't watched it personally because I've been told to avoid it. But Capone on Netflix with Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah, that's it's Josh Trank's follow-up film, isn't it? It's a Fantastic Four.
Apparently, it's absolutely dreadful.
I have heard that, but I'm still interested to check it out.
Yeah.
So
apparently Tom Hardy's phenomenal, but the movie is just awful.
Yeah, I know it's about an aging Al Capone.
I don't know whether I'm going to watch it or not. I don't know whether it's worth me watching it.
I think it'll be
so bad.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see his performance more than anything, because again, going back to actors that usually don't have bad roles, I can't think of many films where I don't like him in it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there's quite a lot of stars in it, obviously including Tom Hardy.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know anyone outside of him. I've really not looked into it that much. I just know a bit about the plot and that he's in it.
Well, the reviews aren't too dissimilar to Legend, and that's a great film. Tom Hardy film. Right, so I think I'm gonna take a bet and chance and watch it just because. Oh.
Yeah, it's saying it's got a 4.7 out of 10. Hello, Matt.
I've joined with data now, so I should stop lagging.
Fair.
Join the crew. Join the hotspot crew.
Oh, I was trying to say I've watched the Capone movie, and I actually quite like it. I think the reason people maybe don't like it as much is because the last year of Capone's life isn't as interesting as the rest of it. So if you look at other Al Capone movies, then it's kind of it's not quite the same. But I thought it was a really good performance from Tom Hardy in it.
Yeah. I do realistically want to check it out. It's just a case of if I'm hearing bad things, I might wait a little longer to get around to it, you know?
And then come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy to move on to the next news?
I've just got one question.
Go for it.
What is the film you're most looking forward to that is coming out in 2021?
It's tough, isn't it? Because everything's been delayed several times and brought forward, and whatever. I can't actually remember exactly what is coming out in 2021.
Yeah.
If I'm going off the top of my head, realistically, all of us are Marvel fans, and I've been waiting to see Black Widow for some time. I'm interested to see how that plays out, as well as the newest Spider-Man film is potentially coming out this November, December. But what I always enjoy is when the Oscars get released, they always highlight these smaller films and performances.
Yeah.
Like, for example, The Father. Like, I imagine most people haven't heard of it, and it will be the fact of it's now got a nomination. People will go back and view it.
One film I'm looking forward to, but it's still set to come out, Godzilla vs. King Kong. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out in 2020.
Yes.
Very strong choice, to be fair.
I've got 3.
Oh, carry on.
Which is Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
which I'm
very excited to see. I knew Josh should jump on.
No Time to Die, because I just love a James Bond film.
That's it.
And In the Heights, which is the new Lin-Manuel Miranda film based on his first musical. So very Hamilton-esque, but it's a proper film, not
it's not a recording
production.
Yeah.
So that was meant to come out last year. I think all 3 of them were meant to come out last year, and then all got pushed back.
I know No Time to Die for definite.
Maverick, I think, was meant to be late 2020, but got pushed back.
I'm excited to see the
In the Heights
flight scenes, realistically, because obviously Tom Cruise always goes all out.
Yeah, he's done it all again. Apparently, I think the Mustang, like the P-51 Mustang that's in the film, is his personal one that he owns.
Oh God!
So yeah, which is insane.
Sounds about right.
I was thinking about this the other day, something we'll talk about maybe in a later episode, but I don't think there's ever been a bad Tom Cruise film. He's one of the actors, in my opinion, who hasn't done a bad film. He's done some mediocre, but not bad.
No, I'd say The Mummy wasn't great.
I forgot about The Mummy.
Straight away.
But no, I do tend to agree, if I'm honest.
Yeah. To be fair, he's done action films. He's done phenomenal. I don't think anyone can argue that. And then he's done these smaller films. Well, I say smaller films, like the films that nowadays he just wouldn't make. Like, he's not going to make a Cocktail, realistically, is he? How big he is.
Saying that,
it's still a good film.
Saying that, Top Gun's my favourite Tom Cruise movie, but I like Cocktail just as much, if I'm honest. Two joint favourite Tom Cruise.
A Minority Report, I'd throw in there. It's probably one of mine. Outside of Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Yeah, I was going to say. And Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer Jack
one.
Impossible.
I've just seen here as well. It says May 28th, A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah, May this be a really good month for movies because Cruella comes out that month as well.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking
the
forward to that.
trailer looks like it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Infinite?
Can't say I know that one.
No.
And Peter Rabbit too.
Can't
But
wait.
Black Widow comes out in May as well.
James Corden starring role, isn't it?
June 25th, Fast and Furious 9.
They're going to the moon, baby.
I reckon what could be good is we devote an episode to like all the projects, so like TV, film, maybe video games, because I know all of us are quite keen.
Candyman remake as well in August. I just got a list of like films coming out this year.
I'll tell you what I am interested in actually. July 9th, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah. I think that's going to...
still coming out this year.
Pardon?
What's that?
Is the new Ghostbusters still supposed to come?
Yeah,
November,
Afterlife, isn't it?
Yeah, Afterlife.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because Paul Rudd's one of the stars, and I think he'll like blend in well to the universe. And apparently, most of the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd are confirmed, I think.
Yeah, I can't think what his name is. Eddie something. He's like the fourth Ghostbuster. He's not one of the original three. It's not Ivan Reitman either. Obviously.
Do you know who I'd like to see in it? Rick Moranis.
Is he coming back? I think I've heard.
Apparently he's doing films again now.
Yeah, because they've brought him back for another franchise he was in, but I can't remember which role that is.
Because obviously the reason he like stepped down from acting and everything was because his wife died.
Yeah, he wanted to
look after the kids.
Yeah,
but obviously they're growing up now, so.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good when an actor can just pick and choose his roles. It's like Joe Pesci largely hasn't done anything for years, and then he came back and was in The Irishman, and it was just apparently an amazing role.
I think it's worth noting as well that December looks like a very good month.
Yeah.
You've got Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
And you've got Matrix 4.
Oh, there you go, Matt.
And West Side Story, which being a musical theatre student, I'm very excited to see because that's Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, Spielberg.
He's been wanting to do it for years, but they've changed the groups, haven't they? So, are they Latino? I think it is.
Yeah, I think that is what it is now.
Yeah, but
Sharp. I've got a good link for our next section here.
Yeah,
because we're talking about sequels. And there's a very good sequel that's supposed to be coming out this year.
Yeah.
Space Jam. There's supposed to be a new Space Jam coming up.
New Legacy.
Yeah. With LeBron.
I am interested to see how they'll deal with that because apparently they go into the computer world, don't they? And that's how, because apparently there's like cameos from like Wonder Woman characters, Mad Max, everything.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I see that they decided not to over-sexualize the bunny.
Lola. Yeah.
Which is good because
why the hell that was ever done in the first movie anyway?
I don't know.
It's like it's like sex sells, wasn't it?
It's the 90s, Josh.
Everyone in the 90s.
It's a cartoon rabbit.
Or if you go back to like Jessica Rabbit as well in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, but she's more humanized.
Well, she's a human.
She's not just a straight up rabbit. Here's on. All right. So we've got 3 more like smaller news articles, and then, as Matt said, we can move on to our main topic of this afternoon.
Yeah.
So just like some quick little things. There's Avatar's been re-released in China because I guess the cases over there are lessened, so stuff like cinemas can open.
Okay.
And it's now officially like taken its #1 spot again, back from Endgame, at 2.81 billion it's made in its entire lifetime.
Is this going to be the film industry now? It's just re-releasing films to try and get that top spot? Because there's no doubt Endgame will probably get, like they did with... Do you remember when the new Star Wars came, Rise of Skywalker came out? You could go and watch the previous 2 before, and then one. No, so you'd watch Force Awakens, Last Jedi. Don't know why you would watch that, and Rise of Skywalker, all in one sitting. That sounds like...
Because I know for a lot of the like big Marvel films, maybe mainly the Avengers ones, they, especially in America, they play all of them back to back.
Yeah.
And you can spend like 36 hours in the cinema watching them all.
Jesus.
I want a re-release of the original. I want to because one thing I always wanted to watch is the original Star Wars trilogy on the big screen. And I just haven't had that chance. So if that ever happens,
Yeah,
It'd be good. Because at the end of the day, like we've only ever seen them like on whatever size TVs or like monitors we've got.
I watched them on VHS first.
And then I just thought I'd mention that if you adjust for inflation, that technically Avengers is third with Avatar second. And any guesses on what the first is?
Gone with the Wind.
yeah, Gone with the Wind.
He knows. Do you want to throw out a number of how much you think it's made if you adjust it?
What was the number for Avatar?
So Avatar at the moment is the highest at 2.81. So what do you think Gone with the Wind if you adjust it is?
2.5.
That's lower. So how's that higher?
Cancel the podcast.
I want to say
I'm going 4. A whole 4. Massive difference.
Fair. All right, so we've got 4 from Matt. Josh, you might be muted.
I said 3.5.
Okay, 3.5. So we'll go whoever's closest. Some mess.
I think it's
Can I
Matt.
re-guess?
Yeah, I'll let you
I'm
read
gonna
that.
go with 3.6.
I hate to say it, after his awful first guess, Mess is the closest.
Second time's the charm.
3.74 billion.
Wow.
It's nearly an extra billion on Endgame.
Here's a follow-up question. Has
Nice.
anyone seen Gone with the Wind?
I have.
Yes.
Once.
Yeah.
Once.
Okay, I was all right. Just me then.
Come on, we're film fans. We're all.
You know what it was? I watched it when I was a lot younger, so I remember it being so bad because it was like for me as a kid watching it, it was really boring.
Yeah, it is long. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's very, very long. It's definitely worth me watching it again because I have no doubt that
You can appreciate it more.
I appreciate it a hell of a lot more. But I mean, I think we're talking like when I must have watched it when I was about like 11, 12.
Because I can't remember when I did it. A few years back, like honestly, maybe 7 or 8. I tried to watch like as many as the best pictures that have won and like nominations. And yeah, some of the early ones are like long. Like Citizen Kane, I still enjoy, but
Yeah.
something like a How Green Is Your Valley or like a Gone with the Wind is just a bit, it's a different time.
Two out of your wheelhouse.
I'll tell you what, I recorded it actually because it was on over Christmas time, and I've got one of those 100 movie bucket lists.
Yeah, I've got one of them too.
Yeah, I've got it just here. I don't know. If you can see it.
You-
Yeah, they're good.
You've definitely ticked off more than I have.
Basically, a hell of a lot of the movies on it I've already seen,
Yeah,
but I'm like rewatching them.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
doing it the exact same way because else I would have scratched off 99 of them.
See, I
But-
found what those are like posters. A lot of them are just films from the 80s.
Yeah, to be
80s, the 80s are my favorite.
Yeah, it just is.
Yeah,
I think you can buy different ones as well, to be fair, because I know my one's got like the Elephant Man, but then it's got like Moonlight on it. Like mine's quite up to date, as well as it's got like Citizen Kane. It's just got like ones that if you're just getting into film, maybe like these are gateway ones to get you interested.
yeah. I mean, the movie that I recorded over Christmas time, because I've never seen it,
Yeah.
was Casablanca.
Oh, you've never seen it?
Oh yeah.
Seen it.
He's looking at you,
I've seen
kid.
It's on my
the
bucket
film.
list.
Yeah.
So that's on my to watch list.
Yeah.
So,
You'll have to let me know what you think of it because that's one of those old films I think still holds up.
yeah.
'Cause
It's one of those ones where I know full well that it's such a phenomenal movie and I've just never seen it.
do you want to cover Monsters Inc., the TV series?
Oh yeah.
So Monsters Inc. apparently, like this is news to me, in July I believe it is, it's getting a mini series that's made by both Pixar and Disney Animation. And sorry.
Is that going to be on like a Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's a Disney original, and it's only the second time that they've released a TV series based on one of their properties. The other one was Buzz Lightyear had a TV series called Light Command or Star
What about
Command.
Lilo and Stitch? Not Pixar.
That's not a Pixar. That's a Disney Animation Studios original, I believe. But just a few little tidbits about it that both Sully and Mike, so John Goodman and Billy Crystal, have set to return. There's also Mindy Kaling and Henry Winkler. Do you know those two names?
Yeah.
Yeah, ringing bells over here. But...
From the
Henry Winkler is probably best known as the Fonz back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And then Mindy Kaling had a TV series called The Mindy Project, but she's also wrote for many shows like she did, I think, The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And then she's had lots of like roles in things. Like she was in a film recently with Emma Thompson called Late Night. If anyone's seen it. But that's thoroughly enjoyable.
Coming out this year as well.
Harry Winkler is best known for his role in Click, by the way.
That poor father.
Look at us giving misinformation.
Yeah, we know films, ladies and gentlemen. We know. The rough breakdown of the plot is it's a day after the first movie, so Monsters Inc., where they've just converted from using screams to laughter for energy. And it's the head of the class that's just graduated is like keen to get in there and ready to scare people, but now he's like, oh, I'm the scariest person, but now I have to be the funniest.
Yeah.
And it's about like how he deals with that. And I think apparently Mike and Sully are more supporting roles. They're like father figures, if I'm reading it right. But I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, to be fair, because realistically, bar maybe the Cars sequels, I don't think Pixar's ever done anything that's less than at least good.
Yeah. Cars 3's great.
That's disrespect on Cars there.
Cars 2, though.
Cars 2 is, yeah.
It's like, the reason I don't say great and I only say good is because I think things along the line of Brave and Good Dinosaur, for me anyway, aren't things I'm going back to rewatch regularly.
I like the Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I think they're good, and I think Meredith is a good, different Disney princess, but it's just not necessarily something I gravitate towards.
It's interesting actually. I was talking to Matt about this the other day. I only like really recently I've just watched Journey and Soul. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Soul is great.
I really enjoyed both of them. I thought that it's just more of what you expected from Pixar, isn't it? I mean, it's just good.
I think Soul will win the Oscar for Best Animation.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't even potentially get nominated for Best Picture, because I know they've done that a few times with like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
I know for Best Animation is that and Over the Moon are the two that I think are probably going to be battling out over each other. There's another Pixar movie as well.
Yeah,
Onward.
Onward.
What about Shaun the Sheep movie?
Yeah, no, Armageddon. To be fair, apparently they're quite good. The first one, I did thoroughly enjoy.
Aardman. They never do anything bad.
No,
that's what when I said Journey, I meant Onward.
Don't stop believing.
It's
Is
alright.
Journey even a Pixar movie?
What,
Is it?
Onward?
Yeah, no, Journey. Is that even a?
No, I think you just. I just didn't want to embarrass you. I think you made that up.
I'll be honest. I've never heard of a film called Journey, so.
Yeah, there's definitely not a Pixar film called Journey.
That's what I meant. Onward, anyway.
Journey to the Centre of the Earth, starring Brendan Fraser.
Great film, and then they did a sequel, didn't they? With the Rock.
Yeah.
Less good.
God, I've got to prove that I know my stuff.
Onward though and Soul were both very good.
Yeah, I've seen Onward, but Soul realistically is in contention for one of my favourite Pixar films.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, there's no beating Ratatouille. I love Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Absolutely love it. And I love Wall-E as well. I think that's one of the goats.
Can you just say the title again for me, please?
Wall-E.
It's just I don't know how the other guys pronounce it, but I say Wall-E.
My mum
big
says
Wall-E.
Funnily enough, actually, Wally or Wall-E or however you want to say
it
is on my bucket list to watch. Apparently.
All right.
I don't know. It's not one of my favorite Pixar films. It is a good film though.
I think it's a great film in the sense of it's something like the first 45 minutes. There's not any like spoken words.
Yeah.
And for it still to be a good film, like I don't mind silent films. Like I've watched a few of them, but realistically, in this day and age, most people don't gravitate towards that.
No, especially not kids.
No, so for it to be as successful, it's impressive.
It's quite a not gritty topic, but it's it's a bit harder hitting for Pixar. Well, Pixar always have these
A lot of
undertones,
Pixar.
don't they? That's why they're so good at it.
I've always said I think Walt Disney hates kids because all of
That is a bold.
all-
That's going to be the tagline for this episode.
Yeah.
they always
Chapter
have
one,
like
Disney.
hard hitting in it. There's always something so upsetting in it, isn't there? Like spoiler alert here. In Onwards, he doesn't get to see his father as he passes away that he never got to meet like as a child. And in Bambi, Bambi's mother gets shot. And why are they killing Bambi's mother? What are they
Teach
doing?
kids about loss.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you've missed one of the big ones in The Lion King. He literally watches his dad die.
Gets
What-
trampled.
Well, there's loads of different ones you can pick, isn't there?
Tarzan, the parents get killed horrifically by a tiger.
Yeah.
Frozen, the kid's parents disliked their kid's power so much they left and died.
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, they ditched their kid in a
Ditch
jungle.
the kid. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah.
Well.
Monsters Inc. Who doesn't have any parents?
Yeah. I've heard Mike's wife leaves him. So.
Yeah.
isn't there one of those
God.
theories? There's one of those theories, though, isn't there? That Boo is supposed to be another character in another Disney movie, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's the
Um,
old lady wizard supposedly in Brave.
And Brave. Well, all of the Pixar movies are supposed to be in the same world, aren't they? Like the
Josh, the
Pixar.
exact theory you're thinking of is that Boo missed Sully so much that she kept traveling through doors so often, and then she eventually like stumbled into where she was in Brave.
I've got. Did you know that the artist in Soul, her CDs are actually in Onwards?
Her CDs? Did you?
Yeah, well, yeah, her CDs, her music, her albums.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Oh,
Things
in
that used to
Onwards, the
come on.
mum has her albums in Onwards.
oh, right.
But that's the thing, isn't it? That's a recurring thing that in every Pixar movie, they always include something in their
For the next
movie
one.
for the next movie. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
they've got
So,
a few little things that they do because I know another one's the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And obviously the that ball with the star on it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, another one you're on about. I can't think of
If you watch in Soul, when he goes into like the where they go into that little world where they decide what their passion's going to be. Literally, there's so many different like Easter eggs for loads. Like you've got the pizza from Inside Out in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think one of the most notable ones for me, I remember, was I think it was The Good Dinosaur. There's a scene where like they go into like water, like they go underwater or something like that, and you can see the octopus from Finding Dory in it.
Yeah. Do you know
So,
what?
like, they always
I
hide.
didn't remember.
They always hide something for the next movie in the current movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
in Monsters Inc. when he's got all the stuff on him and he's trying to flush it in the toilet, if I'm thinking rightly, there's a Nemo like
Yeah.
little figurine that hangs above like a baby's bed.
Yeah, there's a Nemo in it. Did
mean,
Monsters Inc. come out before
Obviously,
Finding Nemo?
Onward came out before
I
Soul,
believe so.
so obviously the fact that the artist from Soul is in Onward
Yeah.
and is
It's
just
this big Disney universe they're creating where they're gonna have an in-game level final.
They're gonna fight at the end.
Show up.
they had the number as well, don't they? Of the is it A1?
A113.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the room where lots of the animators,
Yeah.
like, isn't it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard now that Disney have Marvel plus Pixar. That the next movies are gonna have half the characters missing because of the snap.
Yeah, and in Star Wars, you just like
It does.
C-3PO will just be like gone. Never speak
Oh
of him.
no.
Um,
Again.
yeah.
One more thing
Yeah.
about the Monster Inc. TV show. It looks like it's going to be the start of like lots of these small spin-off TV shows because there's a Doug one,
Yeah.
a
Way Out.
Zootopia one, a Moana one, a Lightyear one.
Moana.
It's not Pixar, but for Disney. If only you've seen Princess and the Frog, I know Tiana's getting her own series.
I love
Someone
Princess.
from that
Frog.
turns up later in a later segment.
The thing is,
Oh.
movies like Princess and the Frog and Moana, they have a very special place in my heart because obviously when my niece and nephew were living with us,
Yeah.
it was on all the time. Like no matter what day of the week, no matter what time of the day, Moana was on
Yeah.
all day, every day.
I will
And then
say that I think.
When they got a little bit sick of that, it was Princess and the Frog,
Yeah, fair.
and that was on all day, every day.
with that being said, is there any final points in news or just general discussion that anyone would like to bring up?
I don't think so.
No? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the main topic of this week is something that we came together and decided that we think we should cover movies that deserve a sequel. So to preference this, we decided it should be a film that already doesn't have an existing sequel or franchise. So you can't say Indiana Jones 5, for example. But then we also didn't want to necessarily do films that have already got a film coming out. Like no one wanted to do A Quiet Place 2 because within recent times we'll actually see it.
Or like Avatar.
Yeah. Like ones that we know are dead certain to happen. So if it's okay with you guys, I'll start first.
Yeah.
So the first idea I had was, I don't know if any of you have seen the original, Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
It's a great Luc Besson film. I don't know when it came out, but it stars a young Natalie Portman and she survives the film. And I thought what we could do is, now that she's grown up and she's still a famous actor, we could have her come back as her role as Matilda. And so I've called it Matilda the Professional because I thought you keep the branding, keep it similar.
Yeah.
And my rough synopsis of the plot is that she's all grown up and she now works in like a rundown apartment block, similar to the first film. She's the cleaner for it. So she's in and out of all these different people's lives regularly. And she's just like background noise. And she's kept up the training that Leon installed into her. So like she works out, she's, you know, physically fit. She's got like a quick mind and wit and everything. And I thought one day, like after a long day, like maybe in the stairwell or a lift, I was thinking we see like a crime happen. And similar to the first film, we have a kid that's now left on their own. So I've said it could be something along the lines of a couple has got a child and the partner's run away from like drug dealers or some sort of like crime syndicate. And as a result, the wife takes the bullet. And we've just got this young kid left on their own. And we could potentially have a flashback scene or maybe refilm it, get John Reno back, de-age him. And we show like how she was helped by him in her time of need when she lost her family. And I thought we could then get like, she agrees to help train him in order for them to get revenge sort of thing. And they become like their own family and they become like one another's connections because they're both seeing someone like for the first time that they can trust. So that's like my rough outline. I think realistically, I'd like to get Luc Besson back because as much as he's not made amazing films lately, he's always good with female, like strong roles.
Yeah.
He's done Lilu in The Fifth Element. You've got in the original Leon the Professional, she's quite badass for a kid. You know, she smokes. She wants to get involved with like what he's doing. And then you've even got like Valerian, which I don't think is an amazing film, as well as Lucy, but like the female characters are written to be like quite independent and like stubborn.
Yeah.
But that's my first idea. Anybody got anything to say on it, or like, do you agree with it? Do you?
I like it. I mean, yeah, Leon the Professional is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I feel like although it's held in high regards, I feel like it's still a little bit underrated.
Yeah, I get what you mean because it's always billed as quite a violent film, or like I think of it as being like regarded as one. But then you watch it and there are like shoot 'em up scenes. Like you've got Gary Oldman like going in and taking out Matilda's family.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like massively over the top. It's not like a Raid or like a John Wick, you know. It's quite like tamed by today's standards.
Yeah, and I really like the idea. I mean,
yeah, I just thought because she's gone on to do so much more. Like obviously she's Jane Foster in the MCU, and then she was in the Star Wars prequels. Like she's done big roles, and like she's a known name. So I think, much like Keanu Reeves has done with like The Matrix and Bill and Ted, like her star power might be able to like bring this back into creation.
Yeah, fair enough. I like the idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I think it's just not like straight John Wick 2. Like it's not the day after. Like you could really see how like the trauma affected her and all that sort of stuff. So it could be a good like character piece. Is ultimately what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that is a strong start
Thank you. I hope to continue, but I don't know if I will. But
Yay!
if we'd like to move on, I guess we can just go alphabetically here. So, Josh, if you'd like to pitch your first film, whatever that might be.
I'm gonna say one of the best films that I've seen, like direct, like from a director's point of view, one of the most amazing films that I've seen that's been released in recent years. I think was Baby Driver.
Yeah,
So I really want a Baby Driver too.
it's a strong.
I really
strong
want.
choice.
I just think that Edgar Wright was absolutely phenomenal in this movie. Like, it's the little things that you pick up on. Like every single thing is like in time with the music. Like throughout the movie.
Or the one I know about that is I think it's when John Hamm's doing like a shooting scene. It's like perfectly in beat. It's perfect.
Yeah, and it's like at the start, it's like stupid stuff. Like when Baby goes and gets the coffees, he brings them back, and obviously the music's playing, and he puts them down, and as they hit the table, there's like dunk, 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 and you're like, what? Like everything is just so perfectly.
It's brilliant. It's because
trademark for him, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Directing style.
His editing is something else. Like whether it's comedic or not, it's just it's some of the best.
I mean, it could be biased because I just love the movie, but I think that Baby Driver is Edgar Wright's best movie.
See, what I'd say is it's not my favorite movie, but I think it's his best made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I can agree with that.
The stunt choreography, the music to the timing, like everyone's like acting performances. Like you've got Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and obviously he's not an actor, but he does like a serviceable job.
Yeah,
and it's just great.
You look at Edgar Wright and you think like the first thing that you think of is obviously like the Cornetto trilogy in it.
Yeah.
Like with Shaun of the Dead and you know all that great stuff. I mean, we don't really need to speak about that. Everyone knows. But I just think like Baby Driver is such a different movie.
Yeah, it's out there. Have you I know before he did Spaced, the TV show, or around that time, he did a music video for a band that he was friends with, and that is basically like an early version of Baby Driver. It's about a getaway driver who helps 3 criminals who are robbing a bank, and it's Noel Fielding is the main guy. And he's like, how long are you going to be? And he wants an exact time. And then he opens up like a little binder of CDs that's in his car, and it's like 3 minutes 23, and like they were all at different times. And it's him like perfectly singing along to the beat, and it's like the earliest draft of Baby Driver.
Yeah.
When he did it for something like, I think 15 years.
Out of interest, Josh, what would you actually do with Baby Driver 2 though?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where you're going with this.
I think that. Well, the thing is, obviously, at the end of Baby Driver, we see him just coming out of prison, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in there for what, 10 years? No, it wasn't 10 years, was it?
Oh, I think it might have even just been like shy of a year, because I think he had loads of good character witnesses.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be 10 years, wasn't it? And then he got out. I don't know. Whatever. He's just come out of prison.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting because obviously a lot of the characters in the first movie die.
Yeah.
Like obviously John Hamm's character dies.
Yeah, as does his wife in the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously Kevin Spacey's character.
Yeah.
I think it's quite clear that he dies. I mean, you literally see the car roll over his head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he dies. But I think sorry?
Is Jamie Foxx? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx's character dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
He rams the car into the back of that truck, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I mean, I think the interesting thing would be at the very start of Baby Driver 1, you've got John Bernthal's character, and he's in it for one part of the movie.
Yeah.
And at the end, like the last time you see him, he says, "Well, if you don't see me again, it means I'm dead," and then we don't see him again.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was quite funny, anyway. But I think it will be interesting if his character comes back.
Right.
For Baby Driver 2, because also I thought, I mean, John Bernthal, he's quality anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, great actor.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to. I don't know. Do you know?
Would you make him the star, or would you make Baby the star? Like, would you do?
Baby would be the star still.
Okay. I don't know if you were suggesting a John Bernthal like spin-off, or if you were saying like a sequel with Baby, and he just happens to come back.
No. I think Baby would be the star, but I think like obviously if his character came back, that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what they could do with it, but I mean, that's not my job to, if I'm honest.
True.
That's my job's to watch it and talk about it with you guys. So I would be really excited for that. And I've again, it's one of those ones that like I've heard loads of like rumors and murmurs about it, but nothing actually sort of happened yet.
It's definitely one of those ones I'd like to see happen.
Yeah, so I think Baby Driver 2.
Because I think it also potentially lends itself to be the best like sequel he can make off one of his films.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know how you do a Hot Fuzz 2 or a the World End 2.
Yeah. They'll end like pretty.
Yeah. I know.
Endings.
I know. At one point, I think me and Messa were talking about it the other night that they were going to do a Shaun of the Dead 2, and they were going to call it From Dusk Till Shaun, and it was going to be vampires instead of.
Yeah.
I think that could have been good, but the issue would have been, I think you just have the same characters and it'd just be a completely different film. Like it wouldn't be a continuation.
But yeah, because Danny's gone. Unless you have him in his zombie form for the film.
But I definitely think it's plausible that it will happen. Plus, he's one of those directors that I feel like he can just like, if he writes a film, it will get made. Like people want to make his stuff.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, he's never made a dud. Like outside of the Cornetto trilogy and Baby Driver, he's done Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Ant-Man. He did Ant-Man, didn't
he? Yeah.
And he wrote loads of it, didn't he?
But anyway, that's my pick for my first movie. Anyway,
strong. I like it. I do think, at least between our ones, like me and you, I think that's probably the one that's most plausible at the moment as well.
He's also apparently Edgar Wright is down to do a Running Man sequel.
Oh,
I'm very interested in that.
Wait, I don't know if it's a sequel or a remake.
Yeah.
Realistically, either or. Get someone like Chris Tarrant to play the quiz show host that's evil.
I think Arnie is one of those people that like you can't really replace Arnie.
You know going into a good film.
Yeah.
Thing is, he's always going to be willing to do it, so he'll probably have a cameo anyway.
He'll be one of the hunters.
Yeah.
Call him like the Oak or something.
That's a great film. I need to rewatch The Running Man.
King again, that is bad.
Stephen King film, fun fact.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that was my first pick.
Very strong choice. All right. Well, moving on. If we're going alphabetically, it's a young Kieran Messer next.
Thank you very much. Well, like Josh said, this was actually really difficult because a lot of the films that I was first thinking of, they had rumoured sequels, like things whispered, and that's very prevalent with my first pick, which is Demolition Man 2.
Yes, because we had some issues yesterday.
I had a Code Brown moment just before we potentially started the recording that it's apparently Stallone's always pushing it. He says he's up for doing it. Apparently there's rumoured like a screenplay finished for it now, a second one, but you know.
I was worried then because when you said Code Brown moment, I thought you meant you almost, went toilet without getting to the toilet in time. I was going to say, well, this just took a weird turn.
I would let you guys know if we had one of those situations going on. No, but yeah. But anyway, my synopsis: if you haven't seen the first Demolition Man, it is a quality film.
It is,
if not a bit of its time.
Yeah, it's not like offensive, but you can very much tell like the technology that they were projecting, things like that, and like Wesley Stiles' outfit choices were very let's say wrong for future.
Wrong. Dungarees. Dungarees are back in fashion.
Strangest part of the movie for me is that really weird scene where they talk about every single restaurant in the Taco Bell, but obviously like when you watch it in the UK, they obviously don't have like the rights or something like that to Taco Bell. So it's like really badly dumped over with Pizza Hut or something like that.
Pizza Hut.
Brilliant.
And the fact it's set in 2032. Obviously, that is 10 years away from now. But anyway, so I was thinking of, well, how would you go about a Demolition Man 2 sequel?
Yeah.
Obviously, I thought, okay, Stallone, big character, still doing movies. So you had to have him in some form. But so the way I got around this, I've set it 36 years after the first one ends, which is a link in because John Spartan is frozen for 36 years.
Yeah.
In the first one, so I was like, oh, yeah, it's a nice little transition.
Yeah.
I had that him and Sandra Bullock's character have formed a relationship and they've had a daughter. And then I've had that. Obviously, there's an underground threat of like kidnappings by this kind of high technological society that are stealing people and replacing them. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 recently, so it's kind of basically the Institute from Fallout 4. But they're like, my idea was like they're creating this underground army to take over San Angeles, as it's called. So obviously you've got John Spartan in it, played by Stallone. Lyanna Huxley, played by Sandra Bullock. So they have a daughter who this focuses on. I actually thought about a name for the character. This is the one I put the most work into. So she is called. I'm just looking at my notes. So obviously Lyanna is named after a character from Aldous Huxley's book, A Brave New World, which is the inspiration for Demolition Man. So I was like, all right, I'll be a bit clever here, and I've called her Cecilia, which is named after another one of Aldous Huxley's character from his utopian fiction novel, The Island.
Okay, yeah.
And I know, right? Get me
doing your research.
Yeah, let's see where it goes from here. And so basically, there's no rumors of these kidnappings, and they're like replacing people until she sees her mother being kidnapped by her father, and then realizes, all right, there's something happening. She discovers this underground organization that's going on, and it's her story of how she stops it, and all. And yeah,
I like
was
it.
kind of like, yeah, I was like, how do I not rip something off, but rip something off?
How old are you making her? Like, is this a kid or is it like she's like 25?
So I had it like she's followed in her father and mother's footsteps, so she's also in the police force.
Okay, because
but she's still fairly young because I had two potential people who I think would be good for the role, and that's Haley Atwell or Vanessa Kirby, because I think they're two great actors.
Yeah, Vanessa she's the one that's in some of the Mission Impossible films, isn't she?
She's in She's in Hobbs and Shaw. I know that for a fact. And she's also played Princess Margaret in the two first seasons of The Crown.
Haley speaks for herself. I mean, she's cast as Hawkeye's daughter, isn't she, in the new series? As well as like Bumblebee. She's done these sort of like
fresh meat
roles.
Yeah.
And then I obviously had. I don't know if you know the actor, but Keith David, as the voice, because he's a brilliant voice actor. He's done some of like my favorite stuff, and I thought he could be the villain. Yeah,
Josh, if you don't recognize him by name, he plays the president in Rick and Morty, as well as he's the black guy in the thing.
Yeah.
Isn't he in The Princess and the Frog?
Yeah, he is in The Princess and the Frog. That's where that link was. He does a lot of voice acting for video games as well.
He is a phenomenal presence.
Yeah.
He's got this voice that can carry.
Yeah. Lend itself weight.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is my first one.
Very nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
But Stallone's probably nicked the idea now and it's happening.
Yeah. The bad YouTube trailer won't put us off talking about it.
Yeah. So when I did the research, for some reason I did all the research and came up with my idea, and then I should probably check if this actually isn't a thing. And then there's this really terrible fan-made trailer on YouTube. So and it just says official trailer. I was like, oh god.
I love fan-made stuff. It's so sick.
Yeah.
One that I know the best is every few years someone makes like a High School Musical 4 trailer, and everyone thinks it's real.
It's gonna happen now that Disney Plus is big.
Yeah.
Right then. Well, moving on to our own little robot, Matt Chambers. Hopefully the internet keeps up.
This is the one that I think could actually make the most interesting sequel out of my 3 movies. So I was thinking of an Ender's Game sequel.
Yeah.
The first Ender's Game I thought it was a good movie. not sure I'd go as far as saying it was a great movie. Obviously, it's the movie that made Harrison Ford. He was nothing before it. But
yeah, I love that stuff.
Within the first Ender's Game, obviously it ended on.
Can I love how he's talking about it like, oh, in the first one, like it's happening.
in the first Ender's Game, it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger where Ender got, like, in his dream, saw the queen of, like, the alien race eats just absolutely obliterated by himself, and she gave him like the queen's egg so that he can, like, keep their race moving on. Like, I quite like in my head this idea, like, the next movie, the scene starts with Petra, the girl who was training him, just, like, waking up from a nightmare where she's getting, like, flashbacks of, like, Earth just being absolutely obliterated, like, destroyed. And she's on this ship, and on this ship she's got, like, Valentine, who's Ender's sister, on there, and, like, a few other, like, human race members. And then they're trying to find this whatever planet it is that Ender ended up going to, because Earth has been taken over by some other alien race that found out that Earth had, like, obliterated another one. So sort of like they put themselves out there as a planet that is, like, ready for war. Yeah. Sort of similar to how in Marvel, like, they get the first when they start building weapons, they say, oh, now other planets know we're ready for war, and then people start invading Earth more. So it's like this idea that some other alien race found out, and they've gone over and they're keeping, like, the humans as, like, prisoners, and they're running the planet. So they've escaped to find Ender in the hope that they can somehow fight back. And then they find Ender, and the whole movie's, like, trying to convince him to come join them, like, as they're going to go back, and he doesn't want to fight anyone anymore because obviously last time he did, he was tricked into killing a whole alien race, and then sort of go from there somewhere.
So do you think you'd have Ender as a bit like how Luke Skywalker was in the new Star Wars trilogy? Like, he's reluctant to come back, but, like,
and he probably wouldn't be. Yeah, he probably wouldn't be the main character either. Like, I don't even think I'd call it Ender's Game 2. I think the movie would be more based on either Petra or Valentine. Yeah. Because I think they'll have as much shock and stuff like that over what they've witnessed back on Earth, and that will be, like, the driving force for their motives, and you can sort of put the movie around that. Right, and they've just gone to Ender as, like, their last sort of, I guess, like Luke, like, there's their last hope. Like, we need some help, and then he's reluctant. We're gonna do it anyway, and then Ender might come in and be the difference in helping them win their planet back.
I do like it. It's a strong idea, and obviously we're getting a lot of sci-fi sequels to older stuff. Like, as Josh will know, Blade Runner obviously got the sequel within recent years.
So long I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
All my life, actually, I was waiting for that.
So I think it's safe to say, like, these properties that have, like, a deeper love are definitely the ones more rife for, like, adaptations and sequels and everything, because it's based off a book, isn't it, Ender's Game?
It is, yeah, a book from the 80s. I think the good thing is, as well, if they could get was it Asa Butterfield who plays as him in it, and he's done some really good stuff since. Like, he's almost got a bit more big time now, so I think he's a lot better. I mean, he'd done big stuff before, because he used to be the boy in striped pajamas, but a lot of people now know him for, like, Sex Education and stuff like that, so I think it would.
I think, if anything, as well, his acting would have got better, so allow him to play more of a reluctant character, like, as well.
Would you bring Harrison Ford back?
I'd probably have him for, like, I'd maybe have a scene where you see him die when the alien race takes over or something like that. Or maybe he'd have, like, a small cameo as, like, a prisoner. He wouldn't be, like, one of the main characters. I'd maybe have, I don't know if you remember the first film, but the boy that Ender injured when he pushed him over in the bathroom, maybe he'd have, like, a nice sacrificial death, like, he sacrifices his life so he's, like, no longer such a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, a bit of redemption.
Yeah.
Because I like how you're not relying on the main character necessarily. Like, you can help the franchise carry on, like, within universe, and people can see more of it, but it's not necessarily just all him.
Yeah.
Like, close it into a little box.
Yeah.
Very happy with that. Have you two got anything else to say on Ender's Game? Were you happy with Matt's pick?
Yeah, bring back Ben Kingsley.
I mean, I'd want a bigger role for Harrison Ford personally. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. So
Yeah, but I bet it costs a lot.
Yeah,
if he's
could
worth,
be an AI because he can get around to being an older gentleman, and he might not break his foot like he did on The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's true.
He's doing Indiana Jones, isn't he?
Yeah, Indiana Jones 5, baby.
Oh, get out the Zimmer.
God. What, Hans Zimmer? You wanted to do the score?
Yeah, do the score. John Williams. Only John Williams. Oh God, he's 78 now. I don't want to see him trying to swing from a. I'm just gonna feel bad for him watching an old man swing from a whip.
Well, he actually enjoys that role, doesn't he? Whereas obviously Han Solo, he's wanted to
hate
character for years.
Kill me, get it over with.
Yeah. He wanted to die in the second film, didn't he?
Yeah. George Lucas convinced him to do 3, and then I don't know how they got him to come back and do 1 more.
No clue.
Does he appear at all in any of the other 2 sequels?
Yes, he does. Yes,
He does as a ghost, doesn't he? He speaks to.
Yeah. I reckon he did that from his home. He just like filmed it in.
Yeah, he's got his own.
I'm not coming to set. You can't make me.
Just so you know as well, Messer. When it comes to my sequel, obviously we're going to have to take Haley Steinfeld back, so she's not going to have time for your movie, which is unfortunate. But you know, it's just she said to me, Ender's Game 2 is up there with the one movie she wants to record most because I'm close with her like that. So
I don't want to come across as a fan or anything, but potentially in my next pick, I might have been toying with the idea of Haley Steinfeld. So,
well, that's all right because I said Haley Atwell.
Fair enough.
Oh, did you? See, I thought you said Haley Steinfeld because we were on about Hawkeye's daughter.
Yeah, I really thought you said it as well. Truth be told.
Oh yeah,
edit. It's interchangeable.
We'll go back and we'll see which you said, and either me and Rat are wrong, or you've now come in and you've just spoken about a completely different actress for the whole time.
If I'm honest, I just looked at 2 people who were Oscar nominated. I was like, oh yeah, I quite like them as actresses. I was like, yep, I could see them doing that role.
Nice.
It wasn't that deep.
Do we want to keep this order, or does anyone, now that we're like more comfortable with the idea, want to jump out with one of theirs? What are we saying?
Mine's fairly linked to a sci-fi sequel to an older property, so I don't know if that's a good way to go in.
I think it's only right.
Well, it's Spaceballs 2.
Very
or
nice.
as I titled it, Spaceballs -1.
Very Mel Brooks-esque.
Very.
Yeah.
Honestly, and my I couldn't think too much on this one, but like obviously if you've seen Spaceballs, it's a parody of the entire original Star Wars trilogy. So I thought this one could be a parody of the entire Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Ah, fair. Okay. I get it now.
But so you could use some of the characters from the original. I would love to see Rick Moranis come back and maybe him get an origin story to how he becomes Dark Helmet and just.
Would you de-age him to play a younger role, or would you get like an up and comer to play him in the younger role?
No, I think it would just. In a way, I think the comedy would come from him being his own age playing a prequel.
Oh yeah. All right, I get you.
So like he is visibly older.
Yeah.
But he's apparently playing a younger version of himself.
Yeah. Have before we continue, have you two seen Spaceballs? Do you know of the property?
Yeah.
I have never seen it.
No, heard of it or?
I've heard of it, never seen it.
It's very funny.
I'm giving it a Google to see if I recognise it. I recognise it, but I don't think I've seen it.
Okay. I was just wondering where we were in regards
the most well-known Mel Brooks film. I think it's his like his later ones because obviously he did a lot of stuff in the 60s and 70s.
He has done some classics though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's just quality. I'd love to see him in it as well, but
it would be good, to bring him back, or like just to play like the twin brother or something.
Or just like he does, he just loves to do stupid cameos in all of his films.
Definitely.
Like in Blazing Saddles, another classic.
But so is that what you've got on the idea, like plot wise, or is it just?
Yeah, well, I just thought
back in the
just like take famous bits from the prequels, so like the pod racing, and put your own. Like I'd love to see him put his own like comic spin on that.
I'd love to
I
see
don't
a
know how you do it.
Rick Moranis Sand speech.
Yeah, stand. Yeah, don't. You'll
Good.
start me off. You will start me off quoting the best Star Wars film of all time.
But yeah, I like the way you've titled it as well, because that's very in line with his comedic styling.
Yeah.
And maybe if they ever came back and did the sequel trilogy, it could be like Spaceballs 3. Like they just jumped the number.
Yeah, yeah. Because I like that scene where they're like doing what Yogurt does, and it's like merchandising. He's like, Spaceballs the T-shirt, Spaceballs the flamethrower. That's kind of like come true with Elon Musk and his the Boring Company.
Elon Musk is just Hank Scorpio from that episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Just the mental millionaire.
It's like, what can I do now? But yeah, that's my second one. I just thought I'd get that in because it on that sci-fi genre.
Yeah, I like it. Strong link to the first film as well.
Love a segue.
Yeah. All right, so for me, another film I wanted to do is because comic book adaptations are so big, and Mark Millar especially, he's done the Kick-Ass films and the Kingsman films.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we'd bring back one of his older properties that got adapted and do a Wanted 2. The James McAvoy 2000s film with
that's a good film.
Freeman. Yeah, the way I was thinking of doing this is I did a little bit of research into the original comic, and so there's a group of assassins called the Fraternity that take McAvoy in, whereas in the comic book apparently there are 5 fraternities. So what I was thinking is we set it a few years later, so modern day, and in that time James McAvoy's like got together a group of people. I thought for this they'd largely be unknowns just for this starting role, and that they're going around and destroying the other 4 in order to like prevent what happened within the first film happening like around the world. So I thought we can set each fraternity in a different continent. So I've got South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, because obviously North America was where the first one set. And I thought, as Angelina Jolie's characters died, we get like a young, like rebellious character to like fill the spot. And I was thinking Haley Steinfeld as like is someone as he can like hold. Yeah, Haley Atwell.
He's gonna have a busy year.
Yeah,
but
which one? Who knows?
I thought while we were going to each one, as they get destroyed, he like picks up one new member along the way from each place. So it like also rounds out the like diversity of the cast. So for South America, which would be the natural first one, because obviously it's connected, would be I thought Michael Pena, because he could be a bit of comedic relief. Like he's got in the Ant-Man films, like he's not in it loads, but he's like here and there just to like give a bit of relief. And then I thought for Europe, because McAvoy's obviously got older since, it would have to be a slightly older cast. So I thought we could go Mads Mikkelsen. He's famous for like Hannibal.
Mm-hmm.
For Asia, I've put Naomi Scott, who plays Jasmine in the new Aladdin film as well. She was in the remake of the Charlie's Angels, so she's already got some like fighting experience. And then I know Josh will like this one. For Africa, I thought we could get Childish Gambino or Donald Glover to be like the tech wizard, sort of like an expanded role of his in The Martian, if you remember. Yeah. And I thought what he could do is with this rebellious girl that he's found, much like himself in the first film, she's just like not happy with her dead end job. She's just looking for a bit of excitement in her life, and he takes like a shine to her. And it's about the whole squad like going from continent to continent, like maybe I don't know, a mix of like over the top like Wanted is like when he's got the bombs taped to the rats, but like maybe shot a bit more professionally, like an Extraction or like a John Wick in a like high intensity action scenes. But that's my rough pitch. As far as I'm aware, there isn't a sequel comics that they could base it off, so I think you'd have to take it with he just wants revenge sort of thing angle, and to prevent it from happening to anyone else. So that's my second pitch. If anyone's anything to say,
bend the bullet. That's all I can say.
Yeah, this
defy
time
the laws of physics. Yeah, just wiggling the gun around, it goes straight.
All right then. So we've heard from me and Mess for the second one. So Matt, Josh, have either of you got a preference whether you want to go next?
I'll let Josh go next.
Okay. There you go then. It's decided.
One of my favourite films of all time is Step Brothers.
Okay.
And I don't think that I actually need to talk that much about a potential sequel. I think just a Step Brothers 2.
You just want to see the pair of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just tell them to go on set and do whatever they want, and then just film it.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything like Holmes and Watson, because that was terrible.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Yeah, that was they'd crossed the line of like cheesy funny to just cheesy.
Yeah,
but I mean,
got any ideas for like, plot wise?
I suppose you could I don't know. It could be like as a continuation after the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah,
Catalina wine mixer.
And obviously they go back. They go back at the end of the movie, don't they? And they go beat up those kids in the playground.
Yeah.
So just I don't know, just anything after that, like them a little bit more grown up, maybe now that they're out in the grown up world with their jobs, and they're obviously he's one of them's got a catering company, hasn't he? Or he's working for a catering company. The other one works for his brother at the helicopter leasing company. But I just think the movie is, in my opinion, it's the greatest comedy movie of all time. It is just
it's definitely up there. It's in the discussion.
I challenge anyone to watch Step Brothers that hadn't already seen it and not that.
I look, I made my housemates watch it for the first time 2 days ago, and I swear to God, I've never been more irritated watching people watch a movie in my life because they did not enjoy it, and I couldn't. I felt like they didn't enjoy it just because it's what they didn't. They were like, "Oh, it's Will Ferrell. It's not gonna be fun." No, it's hilarious. You're not too old for this humor. Leave it out.
And I'm a very strong believer in, no matter what situation you are ever in life, there is a Step Brothers quote to fit.
Before Matt started talking again, that is what I was going to say. Josh used to have a motto that anything in life can be a Step Brothers quote.
Step Brothers quote for any situation in life.
You've been saying that for years.
I promise you.
I think for years now, Charlie, me and you have had the whole
yeah, the whole car scene is just brilliant.
Obviously, in the sequel, you need all the characters back.
Yeah.
100%.
You need all of them back. Obviously,
would you have them living on their own, or would they still be like the age they are now, just living with the mum and dad?
Well, at the end of the movie, they move out, don't they, and they start living on their own. So I guess you could maybe start with them living on their own. I don't know. I think there needs to be some kind of event that brings the entire family back together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they go on like a family holiday or something like that. They all go away together.
Trip.
Yeah.
I think obviously at the end of the first film they'd started Prestige Worldwide, hadn't they?
Yeah.
So they'd quit their jobs and they went to that, and they'd started picking up pubs and stuff for doing like karaoke nights. I think it would be really good if maybe they did it like they finally got themselves like a big like singer or something like that, and they were going away to like maybe try and sign them up or something.
Oh yeah, I get you, mate.
Just them with some like kind of a big celebrity. I don't know what kind of big celebrity would probably be interested in doing it with them, but I'm sure there'd be plenty of different singers that you could get in there.
Maybe
kind of like how The Hangover did Mike Tyson as a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you had Eminem, didn't you, on the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 8 Mile. I was just like, that's more than a cameo.
It's his film.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny if they got in Randy Jackson as a cameo from American Idol.
Yeah.
Were you about to say Randy Orton for a second then? That's going to go well.
That's the signature he's got on his samurai sword, isn't it? So I think that would be quite funny. Like maybe they're doing like a their karaoke, like their Prestige Worldwide karaoke at like a club or something like that, and like he's in the club or something like that. I mean, that'd be quite funny.
Or they go on the American Idol together and take the sword with them.
Yeah.
And getting like attacked by security or something for trying to whack out the sword in front of Randy Jackson.
You can do anything as long as you get everyone back together in the cast and you just say, do what you do best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care what the plot is.
It seems like they plausibly want to come back as well. Really.
Yeah.
Because obviously the pair of them work together on numerous films, as well as like a lot of the smaller characters, like Adam Scott's the brother, isn't he?
Yeah.
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 He'd happily
He's
come
great in
back
Parks and
with a bit
Recreation,
of
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah, anything. I'll do anything for a Step Brothers 2. Honestly.
Throw up all this delicious Christmas food. Just love that scene.
Oh god.
All right then. I believe the second time around, it's just Matt left then.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for the first Disney film, animated film,
Okay.
Inside Out. I think that there's a lot of the first film was really, really good at like developing this idea of how emotions work in kids and stuff like that. Obviously, you guys know I'm trying to be a teacher and stuff, so I find it really interesting on like how kids develop, and it really just gets it right in terms of talking like about how moments of grief can cause like lasting memories and stuff like that, which shape the way you are. And I like the way how some of the adults, like the dad's, just a load of little angry people in his mind, and then like you've got the mum, and you see how they're so much different from the girl. So I think that there's loads of scope they could do. Maybe, I don't know, one that I'd like them to do, but I don't think they would because they just haven't. They'd like to do grief of losing a parent, but not really. They like to do it through animals because maybe if you do it through a human, it's a bit like even in Onwards when they do like the whole he lost his dad before he was born. They're not human. Like they're as close to it as you've got, but it's usually the Good Dinosaur, Lion King, Bambi, like we said earlier. But I think it'd be really good. Maybe if one of the parents was to pass away and you followed how she goes through, like copes with the grief then. If not, they could always go for maybe another one that would be good for kids. One of the parents has a second child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she has to deal with all of a sudden there's like the attention's being shared. Because that's another thing that like Pixar movies like to try and come up with life lessons for children. So that could be a good one. Oh, she's jealous because she's not getting as much time now. But it turns out they do love you still all along.
See, another idea could be, I don't know how Pixar would go about it, but dealing with puberty and like growing up.
Yeah.
Like the mixed emotions that come with that.
Yeah.
Because you could show obviously the like changes that she has to herself, but like first boyfriend, like popularity at school, like stuff like that, learning to drive, like stress, like it
would be good to see like how they go from, because she has all of her emotions, how that moment transitioning from all emotions to how you get your adult emotions, like I'm guessing your final emotions, but you don't really know because it's not like we've seen inside an old person's head or anything. Yeah. So it'd be good to see how they maybe like that could be the first thing is one of the emotions changes to like maybe discuss changes to another happy or to another sad or to a fear or something like that.
It's a great concept. I like the idea.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of those ones like we just discussed 3 different ways they could do it. So it's like there's room to expand. Is what we've agreed.
I think it's one of those things where because of the nature of the type like the story, you can literally do anything for a sequel. Like you hear about the creators of Rick and Morty. They're always saying like we never struggle to think of ideas because of the very nature of the show, we can just do anything. Yeah, it's very similar, I think, because you can just do anything and then get the reaction from it. Like, do you know what I mean? The emotions.
Well, the first film was literally just about a house move, wasn't it, and how that was affecting someone. So it's like
so you could literally do any moment in anyone's life, and like that would be the movie. Like, I think it's a very good idea.
I think it would be really. They wouldn't be able to do it because it's Disney, but it would be really good if they could do it from like a more mature perspective. For example, say she was a teenage girl, like in her late teens, and her parents did pass away. Like this whole idea of maybe what more severe grief looks like, and like some people turn to alcohol and stuff like that. But obviously they wouldn't be able to do it because it's Disney and it's for kids. But if it wasn't, that would be a really interesting way to
hitting the source.
Yeah, no one wants a 3-year-old kid watching their favorite cartoon character like sniffing some cocaine because she's heartbroken for losing her parents. I think we'd have some traumatized cinema screens.
Yeah.
Well, you did say that Walt Disney hates kids.
Yeah. that would be the mic drop on them.
Please can we title this episode Walt Disney Hates Kids?
I'm tempted.
We get a cease and desist from Disney straight away.
All right. Well, I've gone first each time. Well, sorry, I went first, then Mess. So, Josh, Matt, do one of you want to take the reins? Maybe Matt, do you want to go back?
I just went, so we'll go Josh, then me again.
Oh yeah.
So, Josh, your final one.
So this one actually has me really excited because
It's gonna happen.
So I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a great choice. As soon as I saw it written down, I was like, I'm glad someone else has seen this film to begin with.
I love The Gentleman. I just love Guy Ritchie. To be fair, he's another one of those. He's another one of those guys that you tell me a bad Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done so many. He's done Snatch, Rock and Roller, obviously The Gentleman,
Aladdin.
Yeah. But I mean, he's just fantastic, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think he's up there for me. Like you know Tarantino. Like everyone's like, oh my god, it's a Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino. Movie. I think it's very similar when it comes to it's a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, so you know it's going to be good. Like you know a Tarantino movie is going to be good. You know a Guy Ritchie movie is going to be good.
I really do think that Gentleman was like a return to form, in that it was like the older early stuff, because I think he really does well with gangsters. It's his like sweet spot.
He does, yeah. And I think obviously the end of number one, it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I just think the sequel should just be a direct follow-on. I think.
What, we jump like straight back into the?
I think because obviously at the end you see Matthew McConaughey got away, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it could just pick up straight away from like where is he, like, you know, like what's going to happen. Again, I just think just direct follow on, just carry the story on. And then you could get some new characters in, some new players in the whole gangster scene.
Any idea who you'd want to play any of them? Like, have you got any ideas? Bugsy Malone was like just a random like bit part.
Obviously,
I thought you meant like Bugsy Malone as in that film with the kids in it, the musical. No. I was like,
no, what? Yeah, the grime artist, I'm afraid, Mass.
What is grime? Works really well as like the American in the movie.
Yeah,
I think it's important to have a lot of if you're to introduce any more characters, I think it should be British.
Yeah.
Because it's set in England.
Yeah.
Most of them are British anyway. The actors, obviously, apart from Matthew McConaughey. So I don't know, just decent English actors. I think.
I'd like maybe some of the people he's collaborated with earlier, like maybe a Statham or a Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, I wanted to say a Statham, but I mean, like, I don't see any reason why Jason Statham wouldn't come back.
I think, you know, if we're doing realistically, I think Vinnie Jones in a heartbeat would be in the new Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
What about getting Robert Downey Jr. in, because obviously they did the Sherlock Holmes movies together.
Yeah, that's true. Could be a good part.
And he's unemployed as of now.
got some time in his schedule.
Yes, slot that in.
They're amazing, by the way. Shout out to those Sherlock Holmes movies. I think they're great.
Yeah, they are. There's a third one coming out, isn't there?
Yeah,
good.
I'm looking forward to that big time.
Yeah, very good. But I mean, he's one of those directors that's just got the magic touch. Do you know what I mean? He's got the magic touch where a bit like Edgar Wright, a bit like Tarantino, everything he touches is just turns into a good movie, more or less.
Yeah.
It's I just want to direct follow on. I think The Gentleman, when I went to go and see it in the cinema, I came out of the cinema and I thought, wow, like that. I can't think of a better movie that I've seen in a very long time. Like, that was incredible.
It was something to like walk out of, and me and my dad saw it because he's like you, a Guy Ritchie fan, and it was just it was great. It was like one of his early films. Like, if he came out with it 20 years ago, I'd be like, yeah,
exactly. Absolutely phenomenal. I just want more.
Yeah, I can totally see it as well.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a TV series in pre-production.
So I've heard about that as well. These were like the little vibrations.
Yeah.
Like, does that count as a sequel? Or...
I'd say TV follow-on, but like obviously it's a sequel to the film, but we're here talking about films. Like we're not saying like, oh, what film should get a TV show. So
Yeah.
in my books, it's
we could talk
more
about
than
what's
eligible.
I don't know. I just want more. I just want more. That's
Yeah,
where it's a bit like with all the John Wick movies. Like I saw John Wick 1, and I just said I just want more.
Yeah,
Want more.
and
John
luckily
Wick,
we've got it.
it came out, I was like, I want more. And then obviously I went to go see Parabellum in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I said, I want more. it's just, I just want more of the good stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, just give me more.
Yeah.
And I think it as well with The Gentleman. I think it because of the type of movie it is. I think it would be a very good sequel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's lots of room for it.
I'm excited about the prospect of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It lends itself to being more story, realistically.
So that was my third pick.
Yeah.
I was toying as well. It was difficult for me because I had another movie that I wanted to include.
Okay.
But realistically, I don't think it would actually ever happen, so I didn't include it.
I reckon what we do is we get all of our choices out. We maybe pick which one we think's realistic, and then if anyone's got honourable mentions, we shout them out then.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll save
Rattle them off.
I'll save my honourable mention then.
Okay. All right. So, anybody got any preference for the three of us?
Do you want me to go with my big hitter?
Go on then. This is
My
the
number
one
3.
where it makes or breaks whether you're on the pod anymore.
Yeah. This one, I think this has been waiting in the wings for a while, and it is a sequel that I believe should happen, and it is called Flushed Away, number 2.
Yeah.
So
I like the pun. Strong start.
me and Charlie are big fans of the first Flushed Away. At uni, we'd watch it a lot. Just a great film. Obviously, Aardman, animation, doing what they do best, except like in their computer generated instead of their claymation. But I just think there's so much. It was just such a weird concept to start with that there are so many more ideas on the table for this. But my idea was kind of like a spy thriller, comedy spy thriller.
Okay.
What, so he plays the person that they think that they are.
Both him, Roddy, and Rita are both recruited by this underground organisation. I've got a thing for underground organisations.
I was going to say, to be fair, they are in the sewers this one, so it's all right.
Yeah, this is in the sewers, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember that really bad? They made a remake of it, but the film Cats versus Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was a plan because obviously the first one's the frog that destroy all the rats. I thought cats.
Rats.
I was like cats, and I really wanted Patrick Stewart to play the cat, the evil cat boss, because obviously Ian McKellen played the frog in the first one.
That's a great little mix.
And they're two great, obviously actors and great friends. And I just thought, there's so many. So because obviously Roddy thinks he's like this secret agent. He dresses like Bond anyway in the first one. So there's plenty of room for him to become this Bond-like figure.
Yeah, finally becomes the person he wants to be.
He finally gets to be this person he's pretending to be, and I really love it to be. He's actually crap at it, but Rita's one who really shines. I also really wanted what was his name, Sid, to come back into it at some point because obviously Shane Ritchie.
I love the idea that he's awful and Rita's great. It's like obviously Johnny English, his sidekick.
Oh yeah.
He's like the one that does everything, and Johnny English just falls into succeeding.
Everything happens by accident. It's kind of like in the first film as well. Everything it happens with luck with Roddy. So and I just thought I would love to bring the original cast back, so Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet to play their roles.
I give Hugh Jackman's best film.
Yeah. Forget that, Logan.
Yeah,
we don't need that.
Or the Greatest Showman.
Yeah, Greatest Showman. Yeah. The filmed version of Oklahoma.
What do you two think about it then? Because I assume we've all seen Flushed Away. It's just.
Of course. I love Flushed Away when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It was one that was on repeat for me. And to be fair, I'd never until you said it. Just Flushed Away sequel. So it's one of those ones as well where like I used to watch like Chicken Run a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
literally the first movie that comes into my head when you
Yeah.
talk about Fly Away.
Yeah, so like I mean,
Well, that is getting a sequel, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chicken Run too.
so actually like there's I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I mean
Right,
it's
thank you.
not impossible.
I'll write my letter to Aardman now.
Yeah, I like it. I like
Those
I like
sequels, are they? Because obviously Wallace and Gromit's been like a long-running franchise.
Yeah, and obviously they've just had the success with the Shaun the Sheep movie.
Yeah.
They're back in form. They had obviously success with Pirates and An Adventure with Scientists.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Holy Man.
Man, we don't talk about.
Great film.
But
I didn't really
Yeah,
enjoy that one. I
so-
thought that was a drop of form.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I like the idea. I like the idea.
Flushed Away too.
We
Coming
should
to a screen
definitely
near you
do.
soon.
I reckon we do an Aardman episode. at some-
That yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about so much, I feel.
Also, they have those like the slugs, kind of like Minions before Minions.
Yeah. To be fair, yeah,
Everyone loves
never
a
thought
comic
of that, but
character.
it is.
Yeah,
definitely.
they were the one who started it.
If only we know.
But yeah, that is my final idea. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I like it. I'm a big fan.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to let Matt go next. 'Cause
Yeah.
See what this
So-
third one's going to be.
I've gone for a Sean Levi movie.
Yeah.
I've gone for Real Steel. I think a Real Steel 2
Another
would be
huge
possible.
fan.
Again,
Yeah.
they did see when I was checking to see if there was like plans for another one. They announced a Real Steel 2. This was back in 2017, and they haven't started filming or anything yet. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
I think
Well,
it's
they're
in
taking their
development,
time.
like lingo at the moment.
yeah. I know that Sean Levi's currently doing a new Cheaper by the Dozen and apparently a new Night at the Museum. Plus, he's doing Sesame Street, so he's kind of got a lot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's done some really good movies. Real Steel, I think you could go on with it. In my head, I was thinking maybe this idea of Max the Boys now like a professional, like a robot boxer,
Nice.
but maybe like skip the whole him becoming a world champion thing and following Charlie's footsteps. I like the idea maybe sort of similar to in how Apollo is in the first Rocky movie, where he's the world champion, but he loses his belt to Rocky. And then all of a sudden he's got this idea of I need to be champion again. I kind of like this idea of maybe Max has had like a really easy road, and then loses to someone, and then kind of has to like bring himself back in. And there's quite a few people. Anthony Mackie was in the first movie, so I feel like you could bring him back into it as well.
Yeah,
because
it's one of those films
it's a bit
where
big time now.
supporting
Evangeline
people have
Lilly.
gone on to be like bigger things.
Yeah,
It's just a lot of people who went on to be in Marvel, like in the MCU.
pretty much.
It's arguably Hugh Jackman's second best film after Flushed Away.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
they're very intention.
Yeah.
The boy who plays as Max went into the MCU as well because he was in the first Thor movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, he played in the first Thor movie. He didn't have a big role, but he was in it. So, but I'd probably change. I'd arguably change the actor for who plays as him because I don't think he's been in a movie now since like well, I've got it up here. He's not been in a movie since 2014. It's been 7 years. I think maybe we can find.
Yeah, I think the audience will understand. Like, he's just, you'd say he's either aged out of the role or you can
Tom
just
Holland's available.
Yeah.
I think I'd want the person to be like someone in their mid-20s. I feel like it would have to be an adult. Like, I think I'd be quite happy if they skipped the whole. This is how Max reached his thing. Maybe Charlie has died, and it's like he's not got his dad there to help him. But you can still have Hugh Jackman there. But as like flashback scenes that went from the first movie.
Oh yeah, like maybe like a motivational speech, like or like they might have gone to somewhere. He's just
like the Rocky speech in Balboa. Is it Balboa who does the speech?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I've just this
Would
second
you,
thought of another one I'm going to mention, and I know Josh is going to love it in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
I was thinking maybe like Andrew Garfield would.
Andrew Garfield would be good. He's a good actor as well. To which you could have Ansel Elgort.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be alright with that. I think Josh would, as long as he's not busy doing Baby Driver 2.
Yeah.
Me. Baby Driver 2 first. But...
Yeah. I think that's what the
that's
audience
it.
want as well.
I
Right?
was thinking, I know he's not very old in real life, so it'd probably be difficult to do it. Maybe you'd have to do a bit of CGI, but you could have it that Anthony Mackie's now quite a bit older,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe the person that's fighting Max, like who's took over Max, is like Anthony Mackie's son or something like that.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so then it would have to be someone like sort of around his age. You'd have to play. I think you could play Anthony Mackie off as like a man who's quite old but just looks good for his age.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Will Smith. Will Smith's getting on a bit. You wouldn't be able to tell.
It depends if you're setting it like mentally in the future from when the first film happens, because he would have aged a little bit. So it would be unbelievable if it's just him how he is.
No, it would be in the future from the first. It would be like a good 10 years in the future because Max is only a kid in the first one, isn't he? So
yeah, strong choice. It's definitely one of those ones that I think a few of us like the idea, and I know I definitely had it as an honourable mention at one point. Have you got anything else to add, Matt, or should I just jump?
That's it. I've got one honourable mention, but I'll wait for you to do your movie before.
So, realistically, I don't know if any of you have actually seen the original, but it's The Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, or?
Yeah. What with
Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Yeah. So, as you know, because you've seen it, at the end of the first film, after they've solved the crime, they're both sat at a bar, and they're both at the moment, like solo private investigators. And on a napkin, they draw up an idea of a joint business called The Nice Guys. That's how the film gets the name. So I'm thinking we spin it off into like a franchise, like Lethal Weapon-esque, because it's Shane Black.
Yeah.
And the like films are like them solving different cases. So I've got for the first one, because Ryan Gosling's a bit more of like a bumbling idiot that like stumbles across like, the answers, and then Healy's
much like Robbie.
or Russell Crowe is just like just brute force and like more just like leads with emotion rather than thought.
Yeah.
I thought the pair of them could open up a agency for like criminals. Like they don't necessarily just like solve good crimes. Like they might. So for the example I've put is the crime is a wife is looking for a drug kingpin husband that's gone missing. It's because like they're not afraid to go into the underground.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then in the first film, the daughter always wants to be involved. So I've said she could be like working for the business, but she gets all like rubbish ones, like a kid's bike stolen or like a pet's gone missing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, the dad doesn't want her to be involved, but I think it'd be a good like way if like maybe a bike's been stolen by one of the people that worked for the Kingpin. So like they're both working on the case independently, and at like some point, maybe in a warehouse or something, they both like happen to collide.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I thought maybe there could be like she gets kidnapped, and then it's the pair of them both obviously looking to solve the case, but also like find his daughter, because in the first they really hammer home the relationship they have.
Yeah.
And then I thought if it's a franchise, Josh, as you know, in the first film, there's like a running joke that he keeps saying he's going to build the house.
Yeah.
A bit like in Lethal Weapon, where he keeps like, doing stuff to the house and it keeps going wrong.
Yeah.
I thought like in the second film, it could nearly be built, and then like maybe a car goes through it in a chase, and like throughout the
gas explosion.
Yeah, throughout the franchise, they like nearly finish it, but then something happens.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I really like The Nice Guys because it was again like it was quite light-hearted, like it was funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's it really relies on Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling just like acting abilities, and they're both like perfect because it's basically just a 70s detective film.
Yeah,
like
Ryan Gosling, Ryan Gosling. That's all I can say. He's one of my favorite actors ever.
He's brilliant.
Like I think he's brilliant in everything he does. First Man,
obviously,
Drive.
Yeah, Notebook's great. I don't know if you noticed, but the girl from Nice Guys is she plays as Betty in the Spider-Man movies. You know, the blonde girl.
Yeah, Betty Ross. Is it Ned's girlfriend?
Ned's girlfriend for one of the movies. Yeah.
But yeah, because I think she's called Eugene Rice. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know her name. I reckon I knew her.
Yeah.
when the first Spider-Man film come out, I recognized it. I was like, ah,
Yeah.
this looks very
got
similar.
the name up, but I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try. It's an Anagori, right?
I'm not
Anagori,
gonna. I'm not gonna try it. Proceed to
Try
it.
But yeah, and then I just
God
thought
loves a trier.
as like background characters, you could have them like bump into like a mistress and like an accountant that's like, you know, for the CD like underbelly, like a Saul Goodman sort of character. Maybe even cast him as like a really small bit part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought,
I like that idea.
yeah, and like I said, it just lends itself to just being a series because at the end of the day, it's just like a crime-solving duo, you know.
Is Bad Boys set in Los Angeles as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
Crossover.
Yeah, it'd be good if maybe
That
you
one might
just have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith walking past them at some point.
But yeah, definitely. Because I thought, because obviously a few of us like Life on Mars, and that's like same time period.
I love like 70s cop. Cannot get enough of 70s cop stuff.
That's
like,
what I
and there's a
mean,
Life on Mars sequel
Series like
coming
that are
out.
obviously successful, so I think why can there be a film franchise that's the same? You know.
Mm.
Well then,
Yeah.
I think as far as I'm aware, we've finally done it, and we've discussed the 12 films that we think should get sequels.
Yeah.
How do we feel
Happy?
about our picks? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very. I enjoyed all of those.
Do you reckon we should? All right, I think we should all say our favorite of our own, and then maybe like as a group think, oh, this film should be the one that gets made if we could only pick one. So what's everyone's personal favorite of their own?
So Chart, can you read out everyone's choices again?
So I know Matt did
You're
Ender's
not
Game.
listening.
Matt did Ender's Game, Inside Out, and then his last one, Real Steel.
Yeah.
Messers, you're Flushed Away, Demolition Man 2, and Spaceballs -1, I should say.
Yeah.
And then obviously you know your own, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, do you want to repeat yours for the other two in case they forgot?
So I had The Gentleman, Step Brothers, and what was my first one?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. Yeah, Baby Driver, The Gentleman, and Step Brothers.
Yeah. And then mine were Leon the Professional, Wanted 2, and The Nice Guys 2.
Yeah.
So
Did no one pick Running Man? Did I make that up in my head?
no, we did
talked
discuss
about
it.
Running Man.
Yeah.
Because Edgar Wright's meant to be directing it. That's where that came in.
Okay.
Right. Matt's gonna think someone says Shaun the Sheep as well.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Princess and the Frog 2.
Favorite out of the ones that we picked, and then the favorite out of the ones that everyone else
Yeah.
picked.
So pick your favorite of your own three, like the one you'd like to put forward as you think, oh, this is actually like maybe a good groundwork for a film to be made. And then like in a circle we'll also say, oh, I think Matt's Inside Out, for example, is the one that's most likely to happen.
Oh, well, we'll end it there then if we're all agreed on that.
Good episode, lads. I'll see you next week.
I think my favorite, mine, is probably The Gentleman of Baby Driver 2.
Okay. Well, all I'm going to say is you have to pick one, and you pick two of your three.
I'm going to say The Gentleman. And
Okay.
I think my favorite of everybody else's was probably Demolition Man 2.
Yeah.
I think it's
strong
likely
choice.
to happen, or whatever, would be Inside Out.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very good. All
All
right.
right, well, I think my favorite of mine was either Real Steel, Inside Out, or Ender's Game. No, I think that my favorite of my three would be Ender's Game, just because in my head they can whack out a good. If they tried hard enough on it, I think they could make the second movie so much better than the first. Because I think they've got a cast that are so much better now than they were when they first done it.
Yeah, more experienced.
I think that, and I think if they changed the lead actor/actress in it, I think that they'd have a good platform for it. But I think the most likely of mine would have been probably Inside Out. If I could pick any from any ones that were mentioned, I'd probably go for a Baby Driver 2, because I think they can just if they can keep the soundtrack at the same level, it'll be my favorite film, because soundtracks are so big for movies.
Yeah.
Look what Guardians did, you know?
Yeah. I have to say, if I was picking mine, my heart says Flushed Away number 2, but I'm gonna have to go with Demolition Man 2, just because Demolition. Demolition Man 2, just because I think it's the one that's got the most substance to it. It's the one that's probably out of all of these ones, or out of my picks, will actually be made in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
I reckon Stallone will just come out of nowhere and just film it.
Yeah, because have you ever seen Escape Plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 sequels to that. I didn't know they existed.
I remember.
You not seen them?
I remember I watched like Escape Plan 3 or something like that, and
It's like him and Dave Bautista.
It took like 15 minutes. Did you know at the start of the movie, so you've got all the production companies?
Yeah.
I'm not joking. There was like 300 that flashed up at the start, and I was like,
It's like a movie version of
the film.
Prison Break where it just gets worse as time goes on.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't get made soon,
it was a bit like,
like, I think Sylvester Stallone will pick up his own like film camera and just carry it around punching people and claim that's the film. But if I had to say my favourite of other people's, I'd say my favourite other one was probably Baby Driver 2. Like you said, if they get that soundtrack right,
definitely a strong choice.
Yeah.
I think of my ones, the one that could get made would be Leon the Professional, just because of her star power.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted to do it. But the one I'd like to see is Nice Guys 2.
Yeah.
See, I have to check this out now because it sounds like something. I can't believe it's gone over my head because it sounds like something I'd be really into.
It is a good movie.
Phenomenal film. And then I think if I said out of the groups, I do really like the call of Spaceballs. To be fair, like I just think if Mel Brooks came back and he put all his effort in, he could somehow convince Rick Moranis. I think that could be a phenomenal film, especially the way you pitched it in that like he plays himself while young.
Yeah, it's just I just think there's so much room for like stupid comedy. I don't think there's enough stupid comedy films out there at the moment.
No, because it's not, like screwball comedies sort of went away, didn't they? Because it just became parodies, and then they were awful because there were films like Disaster Movie, an epic movie that just came.
Scary movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I'm very happy with the ones that we brought to the table. It was a nice mix. Like,
I'm disappointed none of us done a horror movie though. Looking back on it.
Yeah. I don't know. The issue is a lot of the great horror films had like 9 sequels in the 80s.
Yeah, they've been milked to death already.
I mean, my favourite horror movie of all time is The Shining, and they've kind of got a sequel in Doctor Sleep.
So.
Yeah.
The Shining.
Do you want to get sued?
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame. I'd have picked a Wrong Turn 8 if I could have picked more movies.
I think looking back on it, we could definitely
Escape Plan 4
40 or something.
I think looking back on it, we could definitely do another episode where we do ones like another story in a series. You know?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, or
TV
like
adaptations.
films we'd like to see remade. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely lots of avenues to explore within like the movie world. But have people got honourable mentions? I know we've like tiptoed around.
District 9.
Yeah.
That's happening though, isn't it?
It's one of those ones where it's like it's happening. You know,
I'm fairly sure this was not too long ago. This came out, the District 9 sequel. I think they were going to call it District 10 or something.
Made sense. Though.
Yeah.
District 2.
yeah. But I'm fairly sure
that
something about a sequel came news sequel came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
An Edge of Yesterday as well. There's a reverse Edge of Tomorrow.
It was the day before he went into the. It was just really boring.
So I've got like 3 honourable mentions.
Yeah.
The one I really want, but will never happen, is I want a Django Unchained 2.
That was one of the ones I was dabbling with as well.
I don't know if you know about it, Josh. They made a comic where it's Django and Zorro.
Okay. That exists apparently.
Honestly, today. It does. And Tarantino was like toying with the idea of making it into a film.
Just gonna go and see what my dog wants because he's at my door.
A Django 2 I really want, but it will never happen because also everything in Django was really nicely done up with a nice little bow.
They just perfectly capped it off.
It was perfect. Yeah. My other one is going to happen. I know this, but I just basically I've thrown it in as an honourable mention because I can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah.
But Ready Player 2.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
great
can't
film.
wait.
I thought that got a lot of like unnecessary flack.
Ready Player One is incredible.
Yeah.
Like if you put all of my interests, of my personal interests, into a movie, you get Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It was also is. I watched it for the first time and I thought this movie was literally made for me.
Yeah.
Like it is unbelievable. So Ready Player Two, I'm so excited for. So excited. And my last one was, I think there was supposed to be plans of a sequel, but I think that because of the pandemic and everything like that, I don't know how likely it is to happen anymore.
Okay.
But, and Alita Battle Angel 2.
Yeah, see, if Mess was here, he'd speak to you about it, but he was like, that was probably like his fourth choice if he knew a bit more about the anime, he said.
Yeah.
But
I
I've watched it,
really
I've heard
it,
it's like phenomenal for what it
yeah,
is.
it's a really good movie. And obviously it's owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
So you could see Disney giving it the green light to go ahead and have a sequel. But obviously with the pandemic and everything like that, like do they really want to
Am I wrong in thinking it's a James Cameron film, or is it just his production company had a lot to do with it?
That I don't know. I don't know if Matt knows any more about that. Do you?
What was that, sorry?
We're talking about the prospect of Alita Battle Angel 2.
Oh yeah, this is another one I was thinking of. I don't know what's been said while I was out the room.
I put it as an honourable mention because I think there were at one point rumours of a number 2. Well, obviously, I think the plans for that got hit pretty badly by the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
What's on with that now?
Like the film didn't get received that well, did it? But I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like source material to go off for a sequel.
I had one.
It says here James Cameron was a writer.
Okay, I knew he was involved. But...
Yeah, he was involved in it. Yeah.
I had one other rather interesting choice that I was toying with, and that was Tomorrowland. You know, the Disney film.
Yeah.
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 George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Clooney, and it's got Britt Robertson in it, who I think is quite a good actor. Even though she's not really done anything for a while, but she's supposed to be in Stowaway, which is supposed to be they're supposed to be making.
Yeah, right. But I do like that film. Again, it's one of those ones that like a lot of people seem to think it was really bad, but I watched it and thought it was all right. You know.
I think it's just one of those films where, because it's such a good idea, sometimes
the execution
they just didn't use it as well as they could have.
That's fair. Mass, any?
Battleship 2.
Yes.
Rihanna, she's back.
And it's just Rihanna.
Yeah. Her on a giant boat all by herself, firing all the guns.
Wow.
Liam Neeson comes in, just says some, like, whatever Liam Neeson does.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. And then the aliens don't actually catch, just Rihanna on the...
So
2.5 hours.
For me, I've got like 3 different like mini lists. One is ones that are going to happen realistically, ones that can't happen anymore, and then ones I'd like to see. So the ones that are ultimately going to happen is Atomic Blonde. I don't know if any of you've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Accountant, which is a Ben Affleck film.
That's a great film.
Yeah, and that's got John Bernthal in it, because when you were mentioning him earlier, I wanted to mention it, but I just kept it aside. And then Constantine supposedly is going to happen with Keanu Reeves. He wants to do it. And then Dread, the remake.
Oh, yeah.
They've toyed with the idea of a TV series, so I thought I'd leave that out. And then ones that could just never happen, Beetlejuice, even though I'd love to see it. Jumper, have any of you seen that film?
Yeah, that was a great film.
Hayden Christensen
and Jamie Bell.
I really liked that.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't get enough love. No, Samuel Jackson.
What film am I thinking of then?
Oh, you're thinking of Looper.
That's it.
Yeah. Hancock is another one.
I'd watch a Looper sequel, by the way.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there. Yeah, go on.
Hancock, I thought would be good.
Yeah.
So I just love that film.
Yeah.
Film about Matt Hancock.
One that's possible is What We Do in the Shadows too.
Oh, have you seen the series?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Oh, so good.
Because I think they could easily just do like from the perspective of the werewolves or something, you know?
Or just like just another follow-on.
Yeah. And then I've got 2 more, and these are definitely Josh's wheelhouse, especially the second one. So one's True Lies, which I thought would have been great.
Oh, yeah.
If the pair of them became spies together and they did films like that, I would have loved to have seen it. And then the other one is Over the Top, where he has to like fight for his champion. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Wow. Yeah. I could easily see like
that's never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, if I'm going to give a minute to films that I'd like to see a sequel to, that would have been amazing back in the day.
Never, ever, ever would you think that a movie about arm wrestling would be that good.
One of the best father-son films out there.
Yeah, literally. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
great movie.
Phenomenal. So, does that take us to the end of that segment? I think it does.
I think it takes us. Yeah, I think it's.
And then we're pretty much at the end of the episode. We're wrapping up now. So Matt came up with the brilliant idea of doing a recommendation each week. So we take it in turns to suggest a film for the others to go away and watch, whether they've seen it or not. And then next week we'll come back and talk about it for 10, 15. So
yeah,
as the host, Matt suggested I go first, which is fair enough. And then I thought for this week, I'd pick Missing Link. I don't know if any of you have seen it.
Missing Link. I'm going to write it down.
Again,
who's in it?
Zoe Saldana, Hugh Jackman, arguably in his third best film.
Third best film.
And yeah, it's a great film about well, not a yeti. It's like a Bigfoot-esque monster feeling lonely, so he calls himself with like a skills tracker to like help him find like his family. It's a really good like family film, but it's on Netflix at the moment, and it's only on there till the 30th. I thought if I get it in week 1, we can talk about it, and then we don't have to worry about like trying to find it another time.
Sounds good.
So
that's got Sarah and Nicholas in it as well.
Yeah. So that's my, as Josh called it, the homework for the week, boys.
Bloody hell! On the plate.
Should I suggest one?
Not yet. No, not yet, Josh. Not yet.
One a week, please.
Yeah, one a week.
Okay, so I was getting a little bit, a little bit worried because I thought you meant.
No, we're not going away and watching 4 films.
Watch 4.
Wow. Okay.
It's just like a little idea that Matt came up with. I think it's really good.
All right. I'm up
it makes us go away and watch another film that maybe we haven't seen before. You know.
Yeah.
It's just...
Okay.
So with that, I think that's us wrapped up.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think. Yeah. It's a natural conclusion.
Yeah.
It's like flushed
slowly piss her out. But so do we want to go around the room and plug where you can find us?
Well, yes. You can find us at our actual. You've left me to do the first social media plug for the. So you can find us on on Instagram and Twitter at ECRFpod. So yeah, that handle will work for both Instagram and Twitter. You can follow me at Kieran Messer. That's KIERANMESSER on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow the others at.
You can find me on Twitter at Char Palmer, and on Instagram as Charlie AD Palmer 1998. Josh.
I believe that my username is both the same for Instagram and Twitter. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Josh8153.
Fair enough. And Matt, I believe you have a reason for your...
I live a secret life where people cannot contact me because for all you guys know, I was never really here.
Wait, for the first
15
hour.
minutes.
Yeah. All right. And with that, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one. In a bit, lads.